What up, TikTok? Hey, hope everybody's having a great Friday. Hey, don't let anything that's negative in your life dictate the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Hey, we all go through some hard times. We all go through some emotional stressors, maybe at work, maybe at home, whatever it may be. Don't let that dictate who you are and how you react to the rest of the things that life throws at you. Does that make sense? Like if you're feeling pissed off and angry all morning or all day, you're going to take that energy and you're going to present it to everybody else that surrounds you, your loved ones, your soldiers, whoever it may be. You're going to use that negative energy and it's just going to make everything worse. Try to be positive. Pick something positive in life that's going really well. Use that positive energy and let that dictate the rest of your day. We can harp on the negatives. We can harp on the bad things that are going on in life. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us move forward. Stay strong, keep pushing, drive on. Happy Friday.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Hitting you up this morning with a special promo on how to dress when you're doing PT in civilians, but you want everybody to know you're an Army. This comes from the Buddy Beckwith fashion design of how to work out. So first, you can notice the RI panties. Not Ranger panties, but Ranger instructor panties. The green socks, the knee brace for the old guys. Don't forget the M frames. Now the shirt, don't wear the Trash Talk shirt while you're running. This is just for the promo. You want to put on like an 80-second shirt or like your favorite airborne shirt so everybody knows that you're a veteran. That's the most important thing. And you start with this stretch. Buddy Beckwith taught me this one. Ready to go.
So, I'm walking out of the gas station and my co-worker, who's an old MP, but we still claim him, and has engaged the man in conversation. Not much for conversation with strangers, but he's got the tab. So, as I walk by, I say airborne, and the man responds with, and I quote, "Hoorah." So, after I instructed my co-worker to slash every single tire before he put the car in gear, I looked for the biggest rock. As I crow hop to throw it through his back window so he can stop posing as one of us, I actually wake up and realize that the man's ignorance had incapacitated me for a moment, and I was daydreaming. I mean, because in that moment you got two options. I chose the third option and said, "Incorrect. That's an incorrect response." And I kept walking. The man said nothing and he pulled away. So you tell me, what is it, a stolen valor thing? No Marine's gonna have an airborne tab, and no paratrooper's gonna say hidden hoorah. So you tell me, stolen valor?
Hey, y'all, I'm going to work. I left you a note on the refrigerator. I love y'all. I'm gonna go.
Hey, go get dressed. Get ready for school.
You're doing great. I was just tooling along.
Shit! Bad guy! Stop!
Let me break it down Barney style.
Today's show is brought to you by the Farkas Group at the Veterans Mortgage Source. Are you looking for a team you can trust for your mortgage needs? The Farkas Group is our trusted partner on the podcast. I served with Zach, and he will definitely give you the best rate possible. Their goal is to educate veterans across the country on their earned VA home loan benefit. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, reach out to these guys for competitive rates or any information you may need on obtaining a VA mortgage for your property. They are licensed in multiple states. If they are not licensed in the state that you live in, they will still give you the advice that you need and the rates you should be looking for.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Today's special guest is Greg, a leg infantry officer who is using his skills learned in Legland to walk a long way for charity.
What's up, Trash Talkers? What's up, Gruntworks? Welcome to episode 54. All right, as you look at your screen, you will notice that there was some difference today. Well, Dave decided that he had more important things to do today. Not sure what that is. He's probably losing all of his money in Vegas right now. Hopefully, he puts the fight picks we had from yesterday on there and makes some money back. Also, Joe is in West Virginia somewhere. Not sure what he's doing. He might be looking for a estranged brother or something in the mountains up there. Not quite sure, but we missed those guys, and they had some family stuff to take care of, so that's what they're doing. However, I called in a ringer. We got the famous TED Talker who took his hat off, JC Glick. He was on the show a couple months ago. Phenomenal leader in person. He's here with us. And then we also called in the artillery. All right. We brought in Send It 7, old Bill Pearson. And again, big shout out. Congratulations for making the CSL and the Command Star Major list. And then as you see where it says Lauren's iPhone, yes, that is a male named Lauren. And that is his dad named him that, just like a boy named Sue. So he'd grow up to be a big, bad special forces guy. And that's what he is. So welcome to the party. And see it is our great guest, which is Greg Washington. Now, for the last week, because of our 4th of July sale, so if you go on our store and you put in VTTGW or you go on Gruntworks store during the show, you'll get 10% off. And we have our Independence Day line launched, which JC just bought. So I keep trying to call Greg George Washington. I can't. I forget which one I'm promoting. Am I promoting George Washington or am I promoting Greg Washington? But Greg Washington is with us today. He is doing tremendous things to help bring awareness to veteran suicide, and we will get into that in a little bit. First, I know there's about 6 people that sign on early just to hear Buddy Beckwith talk. So, Buddy, what do you got for us today?
Okay, first of all, this is a big holiday weekend. Now it's a big holiday weekend because it's a twofer. So, happy Juneteenth, everybody. I think it's awesome that we have a new holiday. I also think that it's a really good opportunity to maybe spread a little unity. Maybe, I don't know, have a talk about a lot of things and heal some wounds. I don't know. Call me crazy. I've been told that you don't get to celebrate Juneteenth. A lot of different things. I feel like this is a good one. Maybe it's a good opportunity to have a discussion that has needed to be had. And then it's Father's Day weekend. And, I was thinking about Father's Day weekend because I'm a father, and, increasingly in this country, it's getting harder and harder to be a father and a positive male and not get told that you're the reason for everybody's woes and everything's bad because if you're part of the patriarchy and you're this, that, and the other. And we take it because that's what guys have done forever. Like the father in the household is the guy that generally, nothing bothers him. He's the quote unquote the rock. He's the guy that your kids look at, your spouses look at, and he's the one that takes care of making sure that there's funds to pay the bills and all this other stuff, historically, and nothing bothers him. But I'm here to tell you that guy that you're looking at thinking that nothing bothers him is fucking scared shitless every day that he's not going to measure up. That guy that you think that he's the epitome of the duck that is smooth on top of the water, but underneath it's just paddling to stay afloat. And it's Mother's Day has always been a little bit more important. Fuck, Mother's Day is more important to me, but take the weekend and celebrate Juneteenth, and then make sure you celebrate. Call your dad, say tell him Happy Father's Day and thanks for keeping afloat and for kicking his feet and maintaining.
Well said, buddy.
Big trucks driving by.
Yeah, there you go. Well said. We did a show last year on this weekend called Successful Breeder, and again, it's really easy and natural to breed, but it's very difficult to be a successful one. And that's somebody that is there. And I shared a post the other day that said nobody gives a shit, work harder. Right. And again, although we are scared, anybody who's been married for more than 5 years knows that your spouse doesn't give a shit either if you're scared. All right. It is your job to make sure you have what you promised, and it's your job to make sure you come through in providing. So, but on the funny side, buddy, I'm really offended by your masculinity, and I don't want to hear it anymore. So
I'll try to keep it in check, guys. I'm sorry that I ruined the show with my toxic masculinity, and admitting that that the guys that took the responsibility to be the positive male role models are also freaked out that they may not meet up with the expectation that they set for themselves. My bad.
Okay, it's okay. You're forgiven. So again, congratulate all successful breeders out there this weekend. The men that have contributed to the reproduction of society, and then actually stick around to make sure that it's a good one. So those are the people that we want to praise and all that good stuff. Now, the script got kind of fumbled because everybody quit this Saturday. We got JC here, and we get a lot of fan mail. All right. And a lot of it's negative towards Bill. And that's why I hate to bring Bill on. But it's surprising to see how many women love JC. And they are like, please bring that guy back on. And I'm like, I got to find a window. I can't just bow down to the people requesting. I have to bring him in. So here we have a guy who's a very inspirational person, and I am going to ask him to give us a little 2 to 5 minute whatever, and then also introduce Greg and talk about what Greg's doing, because it's phenomenal. If you're not following it, it's awesome. And I will play that video at some point in this, what Greg's doing. We'll probably play it at the end. But JC, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. Welcome back. I know there's at least 2 women that are super pumped right now. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I hope one of them's my wife. So, because I do pay her to send in positive notes about me to kind of, get the other ones to go down a little bit. But first of all, thank you. It's always an honor. It's really an honor today with Greg on here. With Greg, what you're doing, I'm humbled. I think it's awesome. You're the man, and I know we're going to talk about it, but this was a tough week, and I'm glad, buddy, I'm glad you talked about Juneteenth, and I think your call to unity is spot on. But sometimes we need something to be unified around, and we lost another Ranger this week to suicide, and it seems like once a month we're losing a very, very good warrior by their own hand. And we've got to unify to stop that. We've got to talk about it. And it's not enough to talk about it. It's what are you doing about it today? Right? Greg's going to talk about he's doing something. I know a lot, I'm working with virtual reality to try to do the suicide prevention thing. I know you guys are talking about it all the time and getting people to know that they have a place to go. So if anybody on Facebook is listening, you got to let these guys continue to be an outlet, a lifeline for these men and women that are struggling. We've got to do more. We owe these men and women who are struggling. I mean, we're talking about mass shootings but we're not talking about all these men and women that are dying by their own hand. And I mean, this suicide, it's gone up 40% since the pandemic started. Okay, that's affected our veteran community. And oh, by the way, 60% with our adolescent population. Kids, because they're isolated, because they got nobody to talk to. This isn't just a veteran problem anymore. This is an American problem. This may be a global problem as we continue to look at it. We've got to do more. And I appreciate the 22 push-ups and all that, but be there to be that lifeline. I look at what you guys do at BTT, right? You're there for men and women who are struggling to have an outlet, to talk to somebody, to know they're not alone. And I think that's the most important thing we can do is you're not alone. the Ranger that we lost, like I've been there 4 times, and I wish I had reached out, and I didn't, and that's on me, and I'm going to be thinking about that. So, but you look at so many people and they look like everything's fine. You know, the strongest among us probably are hiding the most, and we've got to be there for them. We've got to provide more opportunity for them to talk, and we've just got to do more. It's got to be more than awareness. It's got to be action. We've got to live a life of action.
You know what? You're not at all wrong. And I think, I've had this discussion with a lot of people, and we as a country have started to make people fight their nature more and more and more and more, and deny who they are as a person because they have to be this woke, politically correct person. And that's not a lot of people. And they deny that, they repress it. And now with the pandemic, like you just talked about, it's going to come to a head where people can't deal with themselves anymore. And more, that's what they're reaching out to. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the fact that, you have to have a place where it's okay for you to be you. And that's what, we try to do at VTT, is there's a place where you can be politically incorrect to a point, where you could talk to your buddies and, say what you want to say.
Right. And
it's got to be, I'm sorry. It's got to be beyond, it's not about political correctness or not. It's about being able to speak your ideas and then grow from them. I think about when I was a young man, look, I was dumb. I had a lot of dumb ideas. I did a lot of dumb stuff. I've grown in my perspective, but I grew in my perspective because I was able to say my thoughts out loud, and people could argue them, and we could talk about it. And I wasn't vilified because I thought differently. I was educated because I thought differently. And what we've got to do is like kind of accept people where they are and not vilify. Like, you're not bad if you don't think the way the one side thinks. I want to know why you don't think that way. Why are you thinking this? And what can I share with you that maybe I've experienced you haven't? And I think we've got to do more of that. But I think you're right, man. We've got to be a little bit, we want to be accepting of everybody. We need to be accepting of everybody's ideas, at least initially, and then we can talk them out. But there's nothing more dangerous than a guy with a really dangerous idea who doesn't share it or shares it in the corners.
Well, if you're so dead set on your opinion that it's right, then you should be able to talk about it and articulate it, and it should stand up to other people saying that it's wrong. It's like going to Saudi Arabia. You can't take a Bible to Saudi Arabia. Well, if your religion is the greatest religion, then it can't stand up to a little old book. Come on.
Yeah,
it's the same thing as everybody's idea.
I'm glad JC brought up the stats since the pandemic, because it's literally why VTT is here. So when, like, we're still active duty, and when they stopped my behavioral health and my pain management, and I know everybody's heard, a lot of people have heard this before, as a wounded warrior, I have to go get lubed up every once in a while so I keep doing my job. Right. And it's now I don't get to do it. I don't get to do the physical therapy, and I'm active duty, and I got enough rank to where I could call somebody and say, hey, can I come in tomorrow? And they're usually like, yes. Right. And it's like, what are the veterans doing that have to wait a month for their appointment, and then that appointment gets canceled? And then, oh, by the way, it's like, when is the next one? All right. And so you see that spike. And I know active duty, we saw a spike of about 30%. So like a 30% spike in suicides. And, the big army talks about it. And like Buddy says, and like JC just said about differences of opinions, is once you start giving that woke left or that stubborn right, and I always do the bell curve, right? And Perry hates it because the podcast people listening can't see me doing this. All right. But be somewhere in here where you can have a logical discussion. All right. And where you can be like, hey, I understand where you're coming from. All right. And then there's idiots over here, and there's idiots over here where you just don't listen to them. All right. And then they kill the conversation instantly. All right. Instantly, they come in there with their triggered ass attitude. All right. Don't be a triggered pansy. They come in there triggered, and it just ruins everything. So again, veteran suicide, and it sucks that on Facebook we have to take the name veteran out of our title so that they don't kick us off. All right. But anyways, let's not go down that rabbit hole yet. We can get there later in the show. We brought Greg Washington on, and I came across Greg Washington from Colonel Rob. Colonel Rob retired. He said, hey, you should look up this guy right here. He's doing awesome stuff. And of course, you know, I think Rob's about 5 for 5 on home run guests. So no pressure, Greg. So hopefully you can make it 6 for 6. But man, look at that picture, JC. That's what the girls be talking about. So anyways, Greg, a West Pointer. And in the song, like I said, we make fun of everybody. And it's, you know, it's like, I asked where your command was, and your command was in Germany, correct?
Yeah, no, I was, that was my first duty station.
Okay. Where was your command?
I didn't stay in. I didn't get to stay in long enough to take command.
Okay. So with the information I got was that you were in Lakeland all your career. So you never actually were a paratrooper that, like, you know, practiced the art of being badass. So, but
you know,
what
I do have my wings. I do have my wings. I would, how they would say, I'm airborne qualified.
Yep. It's kind of like my Ranger tab. I'm Ranger qualified because I was never in regiment, but that's not a big deal. So what you did use that, you used that Legoland experience, and now you're putting it to practice by walking. And that's what the song says. All the skills you learned in Legoland, you are now putting them to practice. But hey, Greg, welcome to the show. Welcome to the dumpster fire. And, you know, those of you who don't know what he does, he's about to tell you. So, Greg, what you got going on? We'll talk about your service a little bit and talk about what motivated you to do what you're doing. And thanks for coming on.
Okay, man, Nick, I appreciate you having me on. I am walking 1,800 miles to raise awareness for the increased rate amongst our veterans and our youth when it comes to suicide. There have been more veterans to die between 2007 and now than those that were killed in Vietnam. And suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst our adolescents between that age of 10 and 19. And so they say the stat is 22 vets die a day by suicide. I was almost one of those 22. And if it wasn't for my little cousin calling me in the middle of my darkest hour, I might have made a terrible decision. And so I'm walking to raise awareness, and everyone that I meet, I'm challenging them to check in the same way that my little cousin checked in on me, because that one simple phone call, that one text message to that friend, family member, or loved one just might be that reach out that saves a life. And so 1,800 miles, 11 states. I started in Mount Bayou, Mississippi. I'm a little over 450 miles into this thing. In every city that I stop in, I am hosting these mental health rallies where we're connecting communities to local and state resources when it comes to mental health. And we are having these tough conversations, and we're talking about suicide because we need to get people talking. There's a lot of people out there that are suffering in silence and don't have the tribe nor the resources available in order to get help. And so this is one thing that we're doing through my nonprofit that we started. And, you know, for anyone that is out there, you can go to the website, gregcwashington.com, and click on a Walk to Honor and get more information on it. I post daily logs of the walk and where I'm at and the people that I meet along the way. And so, JC, you mentioned a Ranger took his life earlier this week. I strongly believe that a person dies twice, once in the physical form and the last time their name is spoken. So JC, if you would do me a favor and let us know his name.
Yeah, Scott Green.
You said Scott Creed?
Scott Green, Green.
Yeah, full bird colonel, right,
you.
JC?
Yeah, he was the director of CGSC. Served in 3rd Battalion. Helped plan Objective Rhino. I think he commanded 4th BCT at the 82nd. Stud. I mean, like a stud in every sense of the word. But I'm with you, Greg. I think you're right. I think as long as we continue to say their names, they're never truly dead. They're never truly gone. But you think about, I've been trying to change the verbiage a little bit. We keep saying tough conversations. I don't think they're tough conversations. I think they're glorious conversations. We want to have glorious, because if I'm talking to you, you're not killing yourself. That's not a tough conversation. That's a glorious conversation. And I want to have that conversation. So if we keep, it's kind of like, the 12 miler is hard. No, it's only hard if you say it's hard. It's 12 miles. Things are only as hard as we think they are. Right. So if we say, well, this is a hard conversation, then it is. I want to have these glorious conversations so that if we're talking, you ain't doing anything.
Exactly. And a lot of people think that it's a myth around having these conversations that, if you talk about suicide, then people are more prone to do it. And that myth, and there's stats that is behind it that says that that's false. So being able to talk about suicide, being able to just bluntly approach it. And the hardest part is asking a person if they're suicidal and if they have a plan. Right? Because, if a person has a plan, then okay, that lets you know that, all right, I need to get someone who's a professional that can handle this a little more than me so that they can get help. But just being able to talk, kind of doing that preventive maintenance like we would in the in the motor room, that's what this is all about. The military always says, all right, well, hey, look, you need to handle things at the lowest level. And having that battle buddy that you can call and talk to is the lowest level. And so for everyone that is dealing with trauma, with grief, with depression, with thoughts of suicide, you got to have a plan. Who are your 3 friends or battle buddies that you can call and talk to that can talk you off the ledge? Do you know the number to your primary care provider? And then at the very least, do you know the number to the crisis hotline? Because depression, suicide, it sets in like a storm and it just festers. And some people get locked into this dark space and can't see their way out. And just like, with my experience, my cousin calling me in the middle of my darkest hour gave me just enough time to think about what I was doing and to not do it. And so, man, I'll say, suicide is never the answer. It never is, and it never will be, right? If you give yourself to grow through your situation, not just go through it, but grow through it, man, you might just find what you're looking for on the other side.
Yeah, for sure, Greg. Joe, who's not here, he's one of the founders of ETT. He always says no veteran's ever killed himself in a room full of other veterans. And with the society that we have now and the technology, all right, that room, like right now, we're in a room. And people don't understand this, that we do this for our own therapy. That's why it started. And it's like we wanted to talk to each other. And I guess the tough conversation is when you empathize with why somebody kills themselves, why a veteran kills themselves. And you have a lot of people who kill the conversation because they just want to hardline it. Now, obviously, yes, it's not the right answer. But when you sit up with tinnitus all night, all right, and you sit up with pain all night, and there's people on here talking bad about the VA. And again, yes, the VA has some problems in some locations. Then we're not saying you're wrong, right? But the VA is full of great people, and they're doing their best, okay? And the system itself, it's not linear. Like I keep trying to say, it's a system. It's a complex system. And one of the major solutions is diversity. So if you can get into a room with 3 Air Force veterans, 2 Navy veterans, 5 Army veterans, all right, then we could start talking to each other. And like JC said, you know, share your opinion. Let me get your side. Let me hear what you're struggling with. So when you come on our community, when you come on to the Facebook group, not our professional page, but when you come on to the group, all right, it's a funny ass group and it says a lot of funny shit. And then somebody comes on there and we see a post that says, I'm not having a very good day.
We all jump on it.
The page comes alive. The group comes alive like that. And you know, we've already, like I said, we've had multiple wives, spouses call us and say, you know, hey, my husband, you know, if you didn't have your page, if you didn't have your group, like I think he'd be gone. And so what Greg's doing is bringing awareness, and I mean, he's getting national coverage. It's awesome. All right, you can follow it on like wherever he is. And again, now what JC's saying is now we got to act off of what Greg's doing. Otherwise, what Greg's doing is going to be wasted because we don't act on the attention that he brought. Okay. So that's why we allow civilians on our page, because guess what? Veteran suicide is a community problem. It is not a veteran problem. All right. So pay attention to what we're doing. Pay attention to what we're saying. Okay. And I'll get into this a little bit later, but Greg, let me see if I can phrase this question right, but what was the spark you had to actually say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah, so it was twofold, because I was unhappy in corporate world, and you know, having got out the military, I lost my purpose because I wanted to be, you know, a career officer. And so trying to find your purpose, you know, life after the Army, that was a tough thing to do. And I found myself in the corporate world. I found myself trying to be an entrepreneur. And I was like, man, you know, taking care of soldiers has always been my passion. And so I walked away from, you know, a very nice 6-figure job because money didn't mean much to me, right? Not as much as it was being able to take care of soldiers and my family. And so, you know, this is one of the reasons I started down this journey. Now, my team, they was like, oh, gee, we need more time to put this together. And I said, well, you know, if 22 vets die a day, which that number has increased. The last time I looked at a stat, it was right at 28. But if 22 vets die a day, and you want me to wait 365 days, I can't. And the biggest spark that got me going was I watched a teammate of mine last moments of life on Facebook Live. He's a vet. He had been struggling with a drug addiction. And 2 months prior, he had called me because he was in his process of making amends. And so he called me to make amends. And we had that moment. And then I thought to myself, well, it's one thing to talk about a person's scars. It's another thing to talk about their wounds. Right. And so we left it at that because, you know, I host a podcast called Guards Down where we have other people come on and share their experience and hope that, you know, someone else can get some tools and some gems to put in their toolkit to help them fight and live another day. And I didn't invite him on. And 2 months later, he was on Facebook Live. He was lethargic. You know, everybody that saw it rushed to try and get him help, you know, to see where he was at. We ended up getting him help, got him home, thought he was just going to sleep it off. He gets back on live and he takes his substance and all you see is the phone drop and he starts to seize. And that feeling of feeling helpless, knowing that, you know, someone who honorably raised their hand and served and said, look, I'll serve our country, to now have to come home and face all these demons alone. right, to the point where he thought that suicide was the only way, I couldn't just sit anymore. You know, I'm reminded of a story. I talked with a senior NCO, and he was like, I was deployed, and I watched one of my soldiers get shot in the face right in front of me. He said, when I went home, he was like, my family instantly, you know, they told me I needed help. And when he finally admitted, okay, yeah, I need help, will y'all go with me? They was like, oh, you know, that's too much for me, but, you know, you should definitely go. And so he had to muster up the courage to go get help alone. But then when he turned around and saw that his soldiers needed help, he said, all right, hey, look, you need help, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to the clinic with you. And he went down there with them. He sat while they went through their appointment, and he filled the gap that he needed for others. And so, you know, it's one thing to care, it's another thing to show up. And that's what we as vets, that's what we as leaders, you know, that's what we have to do. We have to show up. And so I couldn't sit anymore.
No, yeah, you're right. And we preach that message on here a lot about, you know, embrace the ambiguity. All right. Stop sitting around waiting to find the perfect plan, you know, and go out and start trying things, start doing things, refine as you go, because the goal doesn't change for us, right? The goal of, and, you know, I was going to talk about how, you know, again, it's the tough part of the conversation where we can't stop veteran suicide, right? I think it's an unrealistic goal, but we can definitely 100% have it not increasing like it's doing right now, you know, and we can definitely decrease it. And if you're just sitting around waiting for the right idea, all right, pretty soon the number's just going to keep going up. And if you don't reach out for help, you know, we're here for you. And man, like you talked about, you know, the combat stories, and that's another thing that we like to do here as well is, you know, like let it out, man. All right. Break the stigma. So, I think Buddy learned how to raise his hand. Wow.
Right there on the thing.
But
I was going to say, I think it's interesting that we've used the term a lot on this show, and I think we're at like 50 some odd episodes or whatever, but we've used the term a lot. But bring awareness to veteran suicide. And we talked about the 22 push-ups and how, like, we got it. It's a thing. But I think, you know, at first it was bring awareness to the fact that there were 22 veterans that killed themselves a day, 28 now, whatever the stat is today. But I think the we've moved past that. We're through that phase of the operation where people know that veterans kill themselves at a alarming rate. I think now we're at the point where we need to start switching our message from awareness of veteran suicide to awareness that, you know, what you said, Greg, we've heard over and over and over again on here. You get out of the Army, you feel like you're on an island, that you've lost your purpose, you've lost your mission, that you can't talk to your friends, you can't talk to your civilian friends, like that you're lost. And we've heard it over and over and over and over again. But I think the awareness to guys that are getting out or guys that are out, that you're not alone, that feeling is not something that you're unique in having, that a lot of people have it, and that it's okay to talk about the fact that, you know, and kudos to you for saying, you know, that you were thinking about that you almost killed yourself, right? The awareness that people like you who are willing to do things to make, like you're walking 1,800 miles, you're not lazy, you got through West Point, you're not stupid, you know what I mean? You are the epitome. West Point, I mean, you went to public college, not a huge deal. But the fact that you've proven that you're not an outlier of lazy, you're not an outlier of stupid, you're not an outlier of, you're just a normal guy that has normal feelings. And even you went to a place that was dark and a place where you thought about ending it all, letting other people know that haven't gotten through West Point and that have not proven that to themselves that they can make it through challenges in life, that it's normal, that it's a thing that you can deal with, that you don't have to take it. That's the awareness that I think that we need to strive to let other people know, is that it's not like, oh, there's only 22. There's hundreds of veterans that think about killing themselves every day, guys. Hundreds. 22 do it. Hundreds try.
Thousands
think about it. You know what I mean? It's not like but it's the dirty little secret, the elephant in the room that we don't like to talk about, because then we're weak if we've thought about putting a pistol in our mouth. You know what I mean? But what we don't understand is the fact that you can admit that you thought about doing it and that your cousin calling you saved you. Somebody's going to hear that story and go, well, fuck, this dude graduated from West Point. This dude was a fucking officer in the United States Army. This dude got out and he still felt the same way that I fucking feel. And he had the same things. Maybe I'm not weird. Maybe I can talk to somebody because maybe other people feel the same way and we can figure it out. I don't have to be on an island. I don't have to be alone. I think it's interesting. And I mean, it just kind of stood out as, you know, maybe that's what we need to start making people aware of. Not veteran suicide, not the 22 a day, but the fact that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to deal with your demons, like we say on the show.
Right,
you know,
get the demons
hey,
out.
buddy, that's what's so frustrating about Facebook constantly trying to shut us down. Is, you know, if you look at our group, we have probably one of the most diverse backgrounds of people. I mean, just on the show right now is ridiculous, let alone all the people involved with BTT, all the people on the page. So anybody can come on that page or watch this show and they can relate to one of us for sure. And that's important for people to get out, because I also think the Army needs to do a better job of preparing soldiers for that too. Like, hey, when you get out, a lot of dudes feel like they're on this, or girls feel like they're on this island and they feel alone. That's a possibility. You might start to feel that way. Here's some things that can help you after you get out. And I think we do a pretty poor job of that as well.
Right. And it's like, hey, join this Facebook group.
Yeah.
Like before you get out. Join this Facebook group. Say, I'm getting out in 6 months. Any advice? But go ahead, JC.
No, well, yes, I think that's 100% right? Like, don't get out and then figure out how you're getting out. Like, you've got to, that transition's got to be clear, and you got to have your tribe. But I think it goes, you know, as we're sitting here talking about this awareness, and we're a pretty insulated group, right? Veterans are like, we stick together. We kind of police our own. We're there for each other. But I'm getting to a new point in this fight where I honestly think another action that we can take is you need to call your congressman or your senator. And the answer can't be, well, the Army or the VA has to figure this out better. Okay. It's got to be the government needs to figure it out better. We're taking care of all these other issues that our country faces. And that said, what we need to do is make sure that, you know, we're using people who are supposed to be there to support us, who we pledge to support and defend the Constitution, that they take the same oath. Well, let's get them involved. That's another action that we can take is call them. And if we all start calling about this issue, this becomes an important issue, as opposed to what they'll say right now is, well, the Army's going to take care of it. The VA is going to take care of it. Their service is going to take care of it. It's because we've been policing up ourselves. We got to continue to police up ourselves and then force some accountability on our elected officials to help, because we did our part. Let's get them involved.
Right. Hey, JC, did you just announce your candidacy for senator?
Never.
Oh,
never,
okay.
ever.
No,
Look,
but,
JC, while you talk about that, one of my stops is DC, and we have it planned where we're going to get a chance to go talk with some of the representatives from the House and the Senate about veteran suicide. And so I would definitely love to join in on, you know, on your effort, or we
Hey,
sit down and help put
you
together.
tell me when it is. You tell me when it is. I will be there. 100%. I will drive
Boom.
down from New York to DC, and I will be by your side, brother. Easy day.
Indeed.
And Greg, what we'd also like to offer you too is, you know, we are affiliated with Gruntworks, and we're also streaming live on there as well. And so that's got a pretty big following. I think it's like 600,000 people. So feel free to send me any videos you want, anytime you're doing a selfie or, you're recording yourself while you're walking, and we will blast that all over the place. And if we can somehow culminate it to where, JC meets you in DC, you're going to have some people that are following you. You're going to have a lot of people from Gruntworks, especially, that are going to follow you. So we will definitely stay in touch after this for sure. Before we didn't let Bill talk, but you brought up senior NCOs. And I would like to say that Buddy and I are senior NCOs, as the little master sergeants that we are. But we got Command Sergeant Major Bill Pearson. He's here. He's filling in for some of our other hosts. But Bill, what say you?
So yeah, I'll talk about two things. One's going to be a shameless plug, but I'll save that for the end. Nick and I were talking before the show, and it's a problem. This is for the active duty people that are watching. You're seeing a rise of this entitlement problem inside the military, and I'm going to bring up a perfect example. One of my wife's dirty little pleasures is it's not watching all these crazy TV shows. It's going on different bases and looking at the wives pages. And she was laughing. There's already wives of husbands who are graduating the Sergeant Majors Academy. What was it, yesterday, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, they graduated yesterday. And spouses are already demanding their husbands' homes at different military installations and how big it should be, what they should be offered, because their husband is a sergeant major now, and he is a gatekeeper. Which I don't know what that is. I haven't guarded any gates.
Are you the key master?
Yeah, I haven't guarded any gates since I've been a senior. I don't have gruel to protect me from everything. But as we grow in our careers, civilian or military, to be honest with you, it's important to remember that we are not that special. Our job is still to take care of the people below us, and that is it. If that doesn't require the 2-car garage, then so be it. I mean, just do what.
There's always moving off post, guys. There's always
or take your happy ass
using the money that the Army gives you to buy a house and build equity.
Well, there also been, these spouses have also requested that the Army does freeze moves until the housing market drops so they can get better prices on their homes. The sense of entitlement that goes into that anyway, I digress. My point is, as you grow and you rise up in your careers, don't let it go to your head. You're not that special. Your job is still to take care of the people below you. Second, shameless plug, Gold Star Century Team. We are.
This ain't shameless.
Yeah,
this is not shameless.
Back in action. Obviously, last year, COVID kind of punched us in the face. We couldn't do a lot of events. As you know, myself, Corey Engdahl, Jerry Ledesma formed Gold Star Century Team. We run for an organization called
Spit It Out.
Gold Star Teen Adventures. New donation site will be up by July 1st, but if you want to donate now, please go to Gold Star Teen Adventures. What they do is there's an organization that takes care of the kids of our fallen service members. They take them on scuba trips. They're actually on a scuba trip right now. They do hunting trips, leadership academies, rock climbing. And I've said it before, you guys have been watching the show. You see everybody talk about, RIP, Till Valhalla, never forget. But the people who are often forgotten are the kids that are left behind from our fallen brothers and sisters. So they let these kids know that they're not forgotten, and they take them from 14 and they follow them all through college. anything you can think of. And it's important for these kids to be around other kids to remember that, hey, they're not alone. So what we do is we run for them, we raise money for them. Every dime helps. Please go to the site. I'll be posting our site once it's back up. We're going to a new donation site. But those of you who want to follow us, we're doing a marathon in September. We're doing a 50K in April. And then later on, we're doing a 100K and a 100 miler. So please follow us, Gold Star Century Team, and please follow Gold Star Teen Adventures.
Yeah, no, that's not a shameless plug, Bill. That's a phenomenal organization, and I know that my last birthday, Joe's last birthday, he does little Facebook fundraisers, and we do it for our Gold Star Century Team, and it brings in a lot of money. And again, we can't stress it enough. Stop blaming the VA. Stop blaming anybody but us. Okay, we are the ones that can help each other. It's all about community. So just like Gold Star Teen Adventures, once you're forgotten about, you're on that island, right? And it's like, get them together, get the community together. Now, Greg, when you stepped off your phone there, that Guards Down logo came up. Where can people find your podcast?
Yep, you can find my podcast. It streams on all the major platforms for podcasts, and I'm also I do YouTube videos as well with them.
Oh, very nice. Very
so
nice.
You just go when you search for Guards Down.
Yeah, like I said, if anything you want to throw on our platform, feel free. We put it up there. And again, I'll put our non-shameless plug out for what we do. Again, it's the community. So the community has to thrive together. So if you have a business and you're hiring, all right, tell us. All right, tell us that you're hiring. Tell us where you are. If you're watching this show, and you've reached out for help on our page before, like for a job, then again, don't get defensive when people start, coming at you a little bit as leaders saying, hey, what's your skill set? What can you do here? Are you able to do this? These are people trying to help you. All right. And you see these people get all defensive. So maybe look in the mirror and say, maybe that's why you're not getting hired. And one of the things that the community does offer is tough love. All right. We're going to help you. But the thing is you have to get that demon out. And otherwise we can't do anything for you. All right. Tell us what it is. And this goes into my little short book of Earl is, again, like we talked about, the entitled veteran, like Bill said. All right. We are a very small community. When you act like an asshole, you make us all look bad. All right. And the leadership keeps trying to say, hey, be a steward of the profession. All right. Be a steward of being a veteran. All right. The tough guy that works hard, the tough girl that works hard, the one that shows up on time. All right. The one that's willing to work together as a team. Have you forgotten that? Right. Have you forgotten that you got successful in the military because there was a team around you? Right. And now the athletes understand that. But unfortunately, not everybody joins the military as an athlete. In fact, the majority of them aren't athletes. Right. And it's like, that's the first time that they learn teamwork. So together as a team, we can win. And if you come on with an open dialogue, like JC talked about earlier, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to help, okay, that's what we need. Don't sit in your corner and cry. Don't sit in your corner and complain about, all the bad things that are happening. Okay. Come out with us. Get on the page and talk about it. Get on the group and talk about what's bothering you. And guess what? Out of the 50 people that answer you, which will happen probably within the first minute, all right, one of them is going to get on there and be like, hey, suck it up, Buttercup. All right. Because that's that guy's personality. All right. And then maybe he starts a conversation with you. Maybe he's like, look, man, I did that 3 times. I was addicted to opioids 4 times. Whatever. We have all those guys on the page, right? Like they're going to talk to you. Okay. But you have to get over yourself first. All right. Let yourself out. Be part of that team again. And that's what we're all about. We're all about being a part of the team. And again, we do this for our own therapy. If it turns out to be as big as we want it to be, and we actually get to have that one-stop shop for once, where somebody on this page is going to know you, somebody on this group is going to have an answer for you, but you got to drink the water. Okay. We're going to give it to you. You got to drink the water. Now, I do want to announce something special before I give do the go around and give the last words to people. We picked up a new sponsor, and he is a retired officer as well at the VA Mortgage Source and Veterans Mortgage Source. I'm not joking when I say I know this guy very personally, and they're getting licensed in about 6 states. They're mainly in Hawaii, but now they're branching out. But he will literally talk to you even if he can't make money off of you. So if you have any questions if you're a veteran and you have any questions about the VA loan, he will take the time out of his day to explain to you what you need to be looking for. And that's another part of the system of where people don't understand. There's veterans out there. Your credit score don't really matter with a VA loan. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that. So think about that. All right. Go out, reach out to these guys. They're trying to branch out to help as many veterans as possible. So if you get a loan, call him up. He's going to tell you whether it's a good deal or not. Okay. So keep that in mind. Other than that, we'll give JC a little bit here. Any words of wisdom before we turn it over to the last man, Greg?
Hey, let me tell you, first of all, thank you for having me on. I love this. I love what you guys are doing. Any way I can support you, your audience, all you got to do is ask. I'm in 100%. I love your message. I love everything that everybody on here is doing and saying. Let's just keep the momentum going. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for including me in this. This is awesome. Truly appreciate it.
Absolutely, JC. Make sure your boy plays hard today.
I will. I'm gonna go school him up right now.
There you go. Go get him. And then Greg, last words. It's your show.
Yeah. And so, with last words, I want all of you to accept the challenge. Think of that one friend, that one family member, that one battle buddy that you hadn't talked to in a while, and reach out and give them a call and check in. If you do that, that'll make my day. That'll make every step that I'm walking worthwhile. And so, to everyone out there, if you don't have a tribe to connect with, you can come connect with me and mine. If you're going through something, I am more than willing to walk to you because your life matters. You're worth it. Suicide is never the way. It never is. It never will be. And take the time to take care of your mental health just as much as your physical health. So, like always, stay safe, stay focused, and stay engaged. I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Awesome, Greg. And like I said, just stick with us, man. Whatever you want to put on our show, whatever you want to put on our platform, we will gladly push it out. Other than that, we will make sure you guys check out the ladies. I think they're coming on again on Monday, the Throw Punch Mondays. And then we also have our new guy, Mammoth Powerlifter. He's got the man behind the beard on Tuesdays. And he's a really big, angry Marine that really struggled with PTSD, and he just lifts really heavy weight now to get over it. So it's a good platform. So guys, appreciate it. Love all of you. And we'll see you all next week.
Where do we turn to veteran trash talk? Where do we turn to veteran trash talk? Where do we turn to veteran trash talk? Bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bravely every morning. One day I'm okay, next day darkness. One day I'm okay, next day darkness. One day I'm okay, next day darkness. Bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bravely every morning. Past is the past, so be forgiven. The past past is the past, so be forgiven. The past is the past, so be forgiven bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. Raise a glass for those we're missing. Raise a glass for those we're missing. Raise a glass for those we're missing bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. That's what we do in veteran trash talk. That's what we do in veteran trash talk. That's what we do in veteran trash talk bravely every morning.